Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the Journaling with PT podcast. I am your host, artist PT Russell, and today we have a wonderful meetup with Evan Falk of Moose Motion Studios, Animation Studios. Sorry. There you go.
Yeah, there was a bit of a name change, but thanks for having me again, PT. It's nice to meet up and kind of catch up on things. So yeah, it's Moose Motion Animation.
Right.
Most people refer to it as Moose Motion still, but for
Yeah.
keyword purposes, I changed the name,
Moose
obviously.
Okay. Okay, I may edit the title then,
Yeah,
just,
that's
for
okay.
YouTube and that type of
For
thing.
future purposes, yeah,
All
make things a
right.
little easier. But
Moose
I should also
Moose
give the
Motion Moose Animation is
Moose
stood
Motion Animation.
okay. So
Yeah.
no studios is out.
Oh,
Okay.
I think Studio, that's like the Instagram version that you're referring to, like Moose Motion Studios or Facebook. I think I kind of go by that
Okay.
there. So there might be a slight name
And
iteration between those two platforms, but yeah.
mhm.
But I'll also
Okay.
give your audience
Well,
just
that's
a
good to know.
slight warning. We can't guarantee the entire video and audio quality of the recording during this. This is obviously kind of like, live streaming, just kind of hanging out and talking, and I have a small zoo in the background. Everything's calm right now, but we were experiencing some wrestling issues earlier with the camera and various, so chances are we'll probably have a visit through a puppy or two on stream, so I
Yeah.
apologize if you hear
Well,
wrestling
that's
with the
fine.
cat in the
That's
background and
perfectly
stuff.
fine.
Yeah, I just figured, let your audience kind of know we may or may not have an adorable interruption during the broadcasting.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And hopefully many of the audience members, listeners out there don't mind hearing a little hairy animal in the
No,
background every now and then.
they're
Changes things
pretty
up a bit.
popular on stream, obviously. I guess that's one of the more recent changes. Unfortunately, I
Exactly.
don't know if you ever really met Foo or not, but the pug. Do you
No, I
remember the
have
pug or
not.
no? Oh, okay, yeah. She was
I haven't.
really popular, but older dog, obviously, unfortunately, she kind of passed away this year. And well, I mean, the good news is that there's a new family member, which is
Unfortunately.
Ruger. So yeah. I mean, that's the only sad thing about pet ownership, in my opinion, is that they don't live long enough. Oh, sheep.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is happening with the name change of your animation studio?
Oh, that's just
What
mainly
brought that
for
on?
keyword purposes, more or less, if that makes any sense. Like, obviously, for algorithm sakes, like I do a lot of studying on what kind of words to type in your titles and various other things, and that just kind of was a bit of an issue, I think, with the overall channel growth for a number of years, was not necessarily having a direct association with animation of any sorts, because every time you would type in Moose Motion, you would get a bunch of hunting videos or wildlife documentaries on mooses and various other
Oh,
things like that, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm obviously not hitting that targeted demographic or genre that I'm supposed to be in the first place. So essentially, just by that simple animation at the end of the name, kind of
mhm.
helped redirect where my content was initially going, especially for search results, essentially. So just technical. It's nothing exciting,
Right. That
unfortunately.
makes
I'll admit
sense.
on that end. Yeah. So like just bit through years of doing studies on title, like for anybody who's looking to get into content creation as a career or a future business, that's like probably one of the key aspects I would definitely recommend, is really get to know what keywords are. And for those that might not understand what keywords are, it's essentially what people are commonly typing to see certain things,
Mhm.
and you have to understand what your demographic is at that particular point to basically target that audience. Hopefully that's not too technical, but yeah.
Right.
So hence why
That
I
makes perfect
usually have,
sense. So
yeah,
if you're heading, you don't want to necessarily
kind of cutting in and out,
Yeah, you
unfortunately.
don't want to necessarily see. You're looking for animation. Yes, maybe it's the connection's a little unstable. Maybe a lot of people are online today. It's Sunday,
Yeah, Sunday.
day of
My
recording. Can
internet
you hear
connection is
me?
pretty good. Oh yeah, I can hear you. It's just occasionally you'll
Yeah,
get like a
so
lag
maybe
or
a lot
two.
of
So
yeah,
nice.
same thing from your end. So I'm thinking it's just
Yeah,
Sunday, the Sunday business, and this is like this still like holiday-ish, sort of.
yeah. A lot of people are off.
People are still chilling,
Yeah,
recovering
that's
from the
true.
holidays, right? 2025 and
I've
all
seen
that good
I've
jazz.
seen a lot of that. I'll
So
admit.
yeah, yeah. So that could be
Yeah.
a part of it too.
Mhm.
Have you caught any films at all, even animation? Anything interesting?
A couple here and there. Basically, a lot of catch up on various other films that are probably harder to see. I think is a good way to kind of put that. What you
Okay.
call it? Lot of older stop
Yeah.
motion stuff that
Yeah,
most
I
people
haven't.
probably wouldn't popularly look up if that makes any sense. Like one that I recently really enjoyed was
Yeah,
the
like
old
what,
like
for example? Like
1930s King Kong. That was really cool. Like the I think it was 31, 29.
okay,
Like the
yes.
original stop motion
Always.
one. Yeah.
Where did you watch it, by the way? Because I don't see it. Was that? It's on YouTube, or where did
Oh,
you watch King Kong? The original,
it's
not the Peter
I
Jackson version.
no, well, I saw that recently too, to be honest, but I have my own means, I'll put it that way. You can find a lot of things on the internet, so
Okay, okay,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I don't
yeah.
mind it.
Which
Right.
the original?
Yeah, I mean, it was, like, either on Tubi or something not too long ago. Yes,
Oh,
or
really?
was it
Okay,
Amazon?
yeah.
I'm not sure, but they usually move things
Amazon
around
usually
anyway,
has a
so if
lot of
you yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So if you can't find something on Tubi mhm, yes, then you can go over there and you can look, and sometimes you don't see it there, and then you look on Netflix and boom, just shows up. So,
yeah. Pri
just keep looking
apparently,
and you'll find something for
Amazon
sure.
Prime's pretty popular too for that kind of stuff as well. Having more old classical films. I heard they were kind of doing updates
Mhm.
on that, which is kind of cool. But yeah, really enjoyed that one because I had a project recently with King Kong, obviously from Godzilla X Kong, and there was a lot of people commenting. It looks like the original from 1930s, and I'm like, well, they're both stop motion dolls. What do you
Yeah.
like? What do you expect, right? Like physics is a big or gravity is a big issue a lot of the time, right? So you have to take that into account. So I'll admit I did do some research on how he made his dolls and stuff like that. So there's a lot of kind of reverse engineering on that end, I think is a good way to put it. So why there's some similarities, but it works.
Yes. Okay.
Experiencing
Yeah,
some
well, we're
technical issues.
back.
Okay.
Invasion That's okay. Invasion of the body snatchers. Sometimes we have that. That's perfectly fine too.
Yeah.
Once we're back on Earth, they let us back down out of the mothership. We'll be good. All
Hopefully.
right.
I agree.
Yeah, I was looking at the
You might
Vengeance
have
of the
some excess
Fowl.
editing to do on
I
this
think
one, but that's okay.
Aardman is this name? Yeah, yeah. The Aardman,
Oh, okay. Aardman Animation, the creators
possibly,
of
possibly.
uh whatchamacallit, Wallace and
Yes,
Gromit.
studios, Aardman
Yeah.
Studios, and their newest. They have a new. Uh, yeah, it came out this year. I mean, at least it was released this year. It's on Netflix. I started to watch that, and I was very curious
I'll
about
have
how
to
they
check that
created the
out.
rain. I wonder what they did with that. Yeah,
Mm,
that's Wallace and
but
Gromit.
yeah,
The
with
latest from Wallace and Gromit.
rain's always a difficult thing to do. It kind of depends on what aspect you're looking at. I know at this point they do obviously have like a CGI department because some things are just too hard to kind of justify. There's some wrestling going on in the background, but too hard to justify doing in stop motion. So I would imagine a lot of what you saw is probably essentially a combination where they essentially use a filter over their initial filming. So it's CG rain, what you see, and then what you probably get to see on the ground is more or less an actual duplication of a raindrop, essentially, I would imagine. I haven't actually seen that, so that's new news to me. I'll have to catch up on that one. You two having fun?
Yes, I haven't seen the whole thing, but yeah, if I can always. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna be quite the
Are they
mic peak
playing, or are
there.
they kind of like sibling rivalry or something?
Oh, they're play wrestling. It's a constant thing. I have
What's
a
that?
German. They're play wrestling, so yeah, it's a
Okay.
constant, yeah, constant wrestling match. I'm not sure what round
Yeah,
we're on
Ruger really
today, but
likes his.
yeah, they get along very well. That
He likes his
my
new
only
squeaky toy.
oh, very much. He's got quite the collection. He's got monkeys, balls, a sheep the size of him that my mom gave him for Christmas that he's very proud of. I think he's already destroyed the squeaker in that, though. Kind of a combined effort between the two playing tug of war. So,
Yeah. So
but yeah, it's an Australian Shepherd and a
the last
German
time you were
Shepherd.
on was over a year ago.
Yes, I think so at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, Ruger?
Yeah, you just a new addition to the family. What's
Yeah,
wonderful.
it's been it's a blessing, a lot of work, but
Uh,
definitely worth it in the end. Holly's very happy with her new companion. So I think her best friend Bailey, which lives down the street from her, kind of misses her more
that's
often. Hi,
good.
sweetie. Oh, okay. Apparently we're gonna have a guest appearance. You gonna come say hi? You gonna come say hi? Yeah. Hi, sweetie. Okay. Yeah.
There you
Hello,
go.
Holly.
Lots of love and hugs, little
Yeah.
kisses.
Okay. Apparently they need an outside break,
Oh, she
so
Ruger.
I'll be right back. Yes, I'm
I
coming.
can
I'm coming. I'm
always
coming.
pause, and you can.
So you can see what I live
Yeah.
with.
No
Bit
worries.
chaotic at times.
It's a part of it. It's a part of life.
I'll admit, part of the reason I haven't been
Yes,
live streaming
that's
on
a good
YouTube
thing.
is
You
frequently,
have that. You have. Hmm.
but that's okay. I made a post on the community saying, "Hey, look, new puppy, isn't he cute?" You guys don't live with him, but yeah, he's adorable. I love him very
Yeah.
much. Very smart and eager to
And
please.
where can folks find you on
Oh, sorry, you cut out
your
there
YouTube
again.
handle? Is
Oh, my YouTube handle is Moose Motion Animation.
your YouTube handle?
Yeah.
There you go. I will have the information in the show notes, but in case someone wants to just dash over there right now and check it out, they can. And
Oh, okay.
I
So this is
will
actually like a
will
live recording.
attempt a presentation of a file. We'll see
Okay.
without. No, this isn't live. This isn't live.
Oh, okay.
This will be we're recording live now in the moment,
Yes,
but
correct.
yeah, it's not live for everyone else. Just
Okay, I was
you
gonna
and
say,
I.
but then
But
I feel really bad for
all right. So
the
we're gonna
zoo.
see if this file. That's okay. We'll see if just to give just a little sneak peek into some of your work. We'll see if this shows with our connection and the issues with the busy holiday people. We'll see
Yeah,
if this
the
shows and
lag.
pops up. Okay.
Hopefully that worked for
Okay.
you fairly
Yeah,
well.
what a blast. Well, we'll
Okay.
see if it shows and yeah, we'll see. We will see what happens with that. But that was just a preview for those of you who are listening in or who may be listening in if we get
Yeah.
this up on Apple or iHeart or Podbean or wherever else you are and there are no visuals available. That we were just having a little preview of one of Evan's videos. Of can you tell us a little bit more about that video just in case they might have missed it, Evan?
Oh yeah, definitely. I knew which one you picked as soon as the audio kicked in. I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize this one. I'll have to give you slight advice for YouTube purposes. You might want to post a link in the show notes titling the song used, because otherwise you're gonna get the claim on that one. But yeah, the probably one of the more recent works I did was Godzilla -1 versus
Okay.
Legendary Godzilla
Thanks for
and
telling.
Shin Godzilla. And yeah, that was quite the endeavor. I think it's the longest animation that I've ever done, which but added up to about 4 minutes and 10 seconds. I think that took almost a month and a half, give or take, and 6,000 plus
Wow.
photographs. It was crazy. Like a lot of time and effort went into that. The spikes in particular is probably my personal favorite. That was he. I think I spent
Yes.
about 20 hours on 12 seconds of footage approximately. It was kind of one of those things where I made my normal, YouTube post and then basically started working throughout that night and then had a short nap and then woke up the next day on Sunday and basically finished it off just before the next post. It was quite the endeavor for those who basically can't obviously have a visual representation or kind of want to know how the magic works. Essentially, I had to make a duplicate for each and every one of those spikes that are on Godzilla. So we had to start off with a regular black spike, which then turns into a blue one. So I had to basically make an exact replica of that spike, but blue. And then I had to make a third one, which is essentially a just slightly bigger extension of that same spike, and then time that with the sound effect, basically making each spike shoot up accordingly and then release with the big atomic blast at the end. So a lot of timing and a lot of math and not a lot of sleep is the best way to kind of sum that up, I think, is the best way to put it. And coffee.
Oh wow. I noticed you're using a lot of pink. Is there a particular reason why? I love the pink that you're
Oh,
using in
okay.
for
The
the dinosaurs.
pink, oh, for Godzilla in particular, I'm guessing, hey.
Yes, yes,
Okay, so
yes,
that's
yes.
you've seen Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, the more recent addition to the MonsterVerse, or no? I
Hmm.
know your kid's a bit of a fan of that series, so Godzilla's
Yes,
pink in that.
yes.
So essentially, that's
Okay, that's the
that
reason why.
character. Yeah, yeah. So obviously, without going too much of a nerd level here, to sum things up briefly, essentially, this new iteration or evolved form of Godzilla is using more or less the natural radiation that comes from the Earth, for lack of a better term. So it's kind of like the Northern Lights, and essentially he's absorbing a lot of the natural radiation, causing him to basically be magenta, not necessarily pink, as some of the other people would say. But I mean, that depends who you talk to in the
Okay,
community, I guess. I'm
agenda.
just more familiar with, yeah, how some of those people react to that. It's not pink,
Okay.
it's magenta. It's like,
Well, I
okay.
love the color anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't care. It's
Yes,
pink to
I
me
guess it depends
personally,
on
but
I guess on the screen you're using, right? It's on
yeah,
Instagram it looks pink, and on a
yeah,
laptop it
it's
looks magenta. It looks yeah, I love it.
yeah. I
Yeah.
personally love that color
All
shift that
right.
he made. I think it looks really cool. But yeah, obviously that was a big uproar amongst the community when the images were first released, and everyone's like, "He's pink," and it's like, I thought it was cool, but yeah, you get.
Right.
I've noticed with the Godzilla community, you have certain people that are very protective over the character, if that makes any sense. They don't necessarily like to see progression as much as you would
Mhm.
expect. They more or less like to kind of keep it very original. You're either kind of like he's only supposed to be blue, or you're a big monsterverse suit, or you're a big suitmation guy. I think that's basically what the original should be. It's kind of interesting. So obviously that's led to a variation of different iterations of Godzilla throughout my channel, where I do have like the 54 version, the pink version from the most recent film, Godzilla X Kong, and then my personal favorite, Godzilla -1. I think that one's obviously one of my favorite characters, as I use him all the time, but I think he looks really cool. And just the overall movie as well was just honestly one of the best ones that I've recently seen. I think you've seen that one too recently, if I recall correctly. Hey?
Oh yeah, many times,
Yeah.
many
Okay.
times.
Yeah.
That atomic breath.
Yeah. That was
The,
the
I
coolest
don't want to
thing.
spoil it for anyone, but that atomic breath was
I think I already spoiled it with
fascinating.
the
Oh yeah,
description.
and yeah,
But
I
yeah,
I
that
don't think so. I don't think you did. It is
no,
a great
okay.
film,
Yeah. If you
and
haven't
it's
seen it,
available
it's
on on Netflix if anyone's interested in
yeah,
seeing it.
it's great. I
It is a great
9.5 out
film.
of 10. Yeah. No, my only complaint is the shameless
Oh yeah,
plug for
definitely.
the at the end where they're kind of like hinting towards a sequel. Can't say blame them at all for that. It makes
Oh,
sense. Okay, spoiler alert.
okay,
Yeah.
I don't want you to give anything away.
Yeah. My only
No
nitpick, but
spoilers. No spoilers.
I'm a very harsh critic when it kind of comes to that sort of stuff, I'll admit. So, but overall, yeah, amazing. The atomic breath was definitely, I think, one of the coolest parts of that movie, and I think it actually won an award, if I'm not mistaken, for that particular scene for like animation. But
Oh yeah,
I'll
I did.
admit, yeah, seeing as a obviously a person who creates a lot of fan art from that perspective, seeing the second trailer with the atomic breath was a bit of a disappointment to me because I hadn't prepared for that. So I just assumed that it was going to be like the original Godzilla animation where everything just kind of lit up in a row, right? And as soon as I saw the
Yeah,
spikes extending out, I'm like, oh, that is so cool. But every single one of my spikes is basically implanted inside the doll, so that basically meant I had to surgically remove all the spikes and replace them one by one. But I mean, on the upside of things, it was kind of a nice revisit to the character and kind of jump into the lore back on YouTube, right? So kind of a win-lose situation. So yeah, it was really cool, but
yeah,
disheartening towards the end. I was like,
yeah.
oh.
So that's your newest character. Who's your newest character?
Newest character is actually Indominus Rex from Jurassic World. A bit of a flashback at
Oh,
this
okay,
point, but obviously I've always been a
okay.
bit of a dinosaur dork as well as Godzilla enthusiast. The two kind of go hand in hand, I've noticed over the course of time, and with the whole new Jurassic World 4 coming out, it only made sense to kind of jump on that trend as well. Geta. Got another zoo member here.
Yeah, that
Just
is
a kitten.
you've done, yeah, you've done
So,
amazing work with. Oh,
no.
what's his name?
Her name's Gata. Of course, she wants to play
He
with
or
him.
she?
It's a she. Yeah, I ended up
Her
finding
name.
yeah her or Gata. It's
She.
whatchamacallit, Latin for cat. So technically, cat is her name. But yeah, found her on an evening
And
walk
she
one
loves
day.
it.
So yeah, she's usually in my lap a lot of the time when I'm in the studio. A little more calmer
No, it's
demeanor
great.
than the other ones, obviously. Herding
Yes, I
dogs.
can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
You have all the personalities together, all the siblings together.
Hmm.
And when did you start, I'd say, adopting pets?
Oh, pets have been a part of my
When did
life
you start?
probably
Yeah.
the entire time. I don't like I grew up with dogs, so I mean, I guess fun fact, one of the dogs that I originally had first taught me how to walk. So there's yeah, animals have just always kind of been there. I don't yeah, soft spot I guess for them is a good way to put that one.
Ye
It's hard to say no. I found
yes.
her and her mom basically in an evening walk one day, and kind of was hoping that I was going to find the original owners. So I put her and mom inside the garage for a little bit because I already have a couple
Mhm.
cats. And obviously, being a mommy kitty, they can be a little defensive. And somehow mom got out, but I was left with the little one. I'm like, oh, great. So guess I'll bring you inside. And well, now she lives here. I got her.
Mhm. She's
Little
adorable.
sweetie. Yeah, she
She
is.
seems very,
Get
very sweet.
very, very snuggly and affectionate. She gets along with Ruger fairly well, but I'll admit Ruger's a bit of a terrorist. He's not as nice to her.
And Ruger's the newest. He's
Yeah,
the
he's
newest addition, right?
the crazy puppy in the background causing wrestling matches. Yeah, the Australian Shepherd corgi mix. My friend runs a rescue, and I'll admit, looking at Australian Shepherds was always kind of a breed I've admired. And then she sent me a picture of this new batch of puppies, and I was like, oh, okay. Hey, no, okay. I'm gonna have to put you down. You're playing with the cords too much. But yeah, she sent me a picture of him and his siblings, and yeah, it was okay. I guess, what are you doing this weekend? And yeah, then Ruger became a quick addition. There was obviously some adjustments there, but overall, yeah, he became quickly adjusted to being a spoiled little brat pretty quick. So he's known as apparently the corgi Australian Shepherd mix is more popular than I initially thought. They're known as cowboy corgis, so I'll have to get him a little cowboy outfit at some point, I think. That'd be
Oh,
too
they're so
adorable.
cute.
Yeah. I love a
since
lot of
you've
people.
since you've been in and out,
Sorry, continue. Obviously, we have a
dealing
lot of
with
lag
animal
issues.
rescue, do you find that there are a lot of people who, no worries, do you find that there are a lot of people supporting animal rescue shelters and adopting pets, or
Mm,
should,
it,
or
Not as
could there
much
be
as you
some
would
more?
hope.
Could get some
Yeah,
more
in my
support,
opinion,
possibly?
it could get more support. Like probably the most disheartening thing is a lot of the time the dogs that are going to these places aren't necessarily the youngest, and most people are looking for puppies. And I'll admit, I was kind of one of those people to a certain extent too. Ruger's about almost a year old now, so I'll admit I kind of missed the adorable stage, and now just get the the crazy dog, but that's fine. He'll adjust and calm down over time. But especially if the dog is, say, upwards of 6 or 10, at that point, it's kind of, a lot of the time that's the last thing that that dog's going to be a part of. And luckily, I mean, the rescue that my friend runs, it's a good retirement home for a lot of these dogs. So that would be my biggest suggestion too, is that before considering maybe getting like a puppy, it might be a good option just to kind of look into a rescue dog, because it's there's a huge rewarding experience, at least I've found, because I'll admit a lot of the dogs that I've had in the past have always just kind of been lucky. We immediately kind of just adopted them from a young age, right? So they were kind of only known as
Yeah.
being spoiled all the time. But with the rescue dog, I find there's a different level of affection where it's kind of sad to say, but obviously he's gone through a few more things than maybe your average dog, and he's a little more thankful over the things that he gets at this point. So I think, honestly, in the long run, it's far better and more rewarding experience, because yeah, when he gets into bed at
Yeah.
night, you can tell he's very, very happy. He's a bit of a snuggle bug, but I'm okay with
Oh,
that.
that's great.
Now, speaking of which, you
Well, I'm
might want to
happy to
pause
hear that
just
you're making a
so I
difference.
can. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna let him back
okay.
in. Speaking of which, and
Yeah.
for anyone who's curious with the video content and who Ruger is, this is the newest member here. As you can see, he's quite adorable.
Hi, Ruger.
Hi, buddy. Oh yes, thank you. Hey, what's that doing? You don't quite understand, hey?
Lots of kisses. Lots of.
Very much, yeah. Very affectionate. Ruger, that's not a toy.
That's
Nope,
great.
nope. Yeah. He's great, very smart.
I'm
Just
glad he's with
attention
you.
span. Yeah, the attention span is a bit of an issue.
That's okay. He'll settle in soon. And you're
Oh
great with him,
yeah,
by the way. He's
oh yeah.
he's blessed to have you as a Yeah, for sure. They call
Yeah,
them dog dads or pet dad, whatever you want to call it. That's
dog dad, I
correct.
guess, is a term that I commonly hear. I'm pretty sure my friend Jess is very happy that he ended up here because he's pretty much guaranteed to be a brat. Yeah.
They're the
You too.
competition now. She's coming with the kisses.
Yeah.
Yeah, sibling rivalry. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the big sheep. No, you just came inside. I'll admit that's the only thing I have
So,
to
for
with.
anyone who hasn't seen a stop motion film,
You too. Hey. That's- No, I just let you out.
I'm telling you, they're jealous. So because Ruby came and gave the kisses, and then the other one came and was like, "Okay, you stay off. I was here first." That's what she's saying.
Uh, to a degree, there's
Yeah,
just
it's a jealousy thing, just like
there's playtime going on in the background. There's a giant sheep that they're chasing around. And Holly loves to be outside and constantly wrestle out there with her friend Bailey, but unfortunately, Ruger doesn't necessarily have the same durability when it comes to the cold weather, so he can't stay outside nearly as long as Holly would like, I think. So that's the big issue. She wants to go outside and play, and Ruger can't stay out that long. Okay, I think we've settled down now.
yeah. Well, I'll let you get back to puppy duty in a second before we wrap up. And for those of you who are listening in, and you have never seen a stop motion film, which film would you suggest for them, Evan, for them to get started on their stop motion journey?
That's actually a really good question.
As a first
I
film,
think it depends whether or not you want to get into it or if you just want to enjoy a film. I think is kind of the two big initial differences there. If you're a beginner who wants to maybe start with stop motion, I would suggest maybe watching something more traditional, like from say the 90s. Honestly, I'm going to suggest stuff from Aardman Animation. Probably Nick Park's earlier work, like his initial Wallace and Gromit film. I think that would probably be the best one, just because it's not as intimidating as say some of these more earlier films where it just seems next to impossible to kind of obtain any of these sort of graphic visuals. Whereas the older series, you can kind of get a sense what is handmade and what isn't, which is practically everything. So I think that would be my personal recommendation, is obviously start with some of the older stuff just so you can kind of get a more pure sense of what the art form actually is, then progress into obviously more advanced stuff. And if you're just looking to be entertained, I think probably Coraline is one of the better ones out there for sure, because that is just a great film overall, and the animation is great. And probably one that is lesser known is also Love, Death, and Robots, which is also pretty popular on Netflix. There has been a couple sequences of stop motion films in there, and honestly, some of those have been the best I've ever seen. It was just incredibly smooth, almost intimidating, even for somebody like me who's been doing it for a number of years. My jaw kind of dropped and hit the floor when I saw that. So Love, Death, and the Robots,
that's great.
Wallace and Gromit, and probably a lesser known one would be. Um, it starts with zoology or something like that. It's going way back to Wallace and Gromit. It was one of Nick Park's earlier works again too, where he's essentially interviewing a bunch of different zoo animals. Seems like an appropriate topic to get into. Ruger, play nice. But yeah, that was won several awards, and you can find that one easily on YouTube. So if you just type in Nick Park Zoo, you'll find it. Hey, what you doing? Speaking of zoos, Mr. Puppy.
And what's next for you, Evan? What are you making next?
Currently working on Indominus Rex versus Godzilla -1, kind of just a big dinosaur movie monster mashup kind of thing. Now, obviously, a lot of people would, if you're familiar with lore on either sides of those, it seems to be kind of one-sided. So essentially, what I did was up the size of the Indominus Rex to the same size as whatchamacallit, -1, just to kind of make things a little bit more fair. And usually a lot of my content's kind of driven through the community that I serve. Like, hey, you got any suggestions? What would you kind of like to see? Who's going to win? Who's not? And surprisingly, the community actually voted against Godzilla this time. So I'll have to do some creative storyboarding on that end because I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to pull that off. So I guess that's kind of a bit of a good hook for those of you who are curious as to what I'm doing exactly. So yeah, latest project, Indominus Rex or Mega Indominus Rex versus Godzilla -1. And currently in the background, we have Gata versus Ruger.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for stopping by,
No
Evan.
problem.
And we're riddled with a lot of lag because of because of the internet. Some things are out of our control, but
Yeah, unfortunately.
it's good to see you,
Yeah.
and
We'll
to
have to
catch
do
up.
this again
And
sometime, maybe on
looking
a
forward to
less
having you on
busier
again
day.
in the future
Yeah.
with less. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When Ruger's a lot older and kind of acclimated to new surroundings and the new siblings and that type of thing, we can catch
That's
up
gonna take
then.
some time.
So thank you so much for listening in to the Journaling with PT podcast.
All
It's
right. Take
okay.
care. Yep.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And
I
all
have
will be
a
well.
yes. Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully
just
he's
hang
calmed
on
down.
now. Hang on now. Don't go anywhere.
Oh,
All right. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching.
yeah. Thanks for tuning into PT's podcast, everybody. Take care.